Thank you very much, John. It's nice. I could go on and listen to for hours. The video in London on the 22nd of January, I always watch it again and again. Thank you very much. So, any questions?
Who was speaking tonight? The chairman of IPEX Capital or the private John, or both?
Well, IPEX Capital really only deals in technology companies. And our hope is that the companies we're developing there will be sort of impervious to ups or downs in the economy, even the global economy, because all of the things that we do, we believe, help economic growth. So, and all of the things we do have global application. So if the UK economy goes down, that would be tragic, but at the same time, our products will sell all over the world. And we do have a very strong philosophy, and one which I really picked up when I went to MIT, which is that technology can transform things. One of our businesses, it's for coatings on printed circuit boards. Printed circuit board coatings cost an enormous amount of money. Companies spend billions every year coating their printed circuit boards so they won't be susceptible to weather and so forth. And they actually coat them with some fairly ecologically disastrous chemicals and materials and in fact gold. And we're hoping that our coatings will replace all of that, which will be good for the ecology. It'll be lower the price of all sorts of electronic goods and so forth. So that's just an example of the kind of company we have. And so, no, I think I was speaking as a private person who's hoping to make some money out of these ventures, but hoping to have an economy where I can spend that money.
So first I should say I really liked your presentation, but it also raised some questions. You have shown that the industrialized countries, so that means us and Japan, probably combined have a debt of about 75 to 100% of GDP.
Yes.
So I wonder, where does the money come from? That's the first question.
Well, we know where it came from. The question is, where is it going to continue to come from? It comes from China. China runs enormous trade surpluses, and then we sell. In order to generate that debt, we sell bonds, and they buy the bonds. We buy their products. Well, it also it also comes from the Middle East, because we're either buying cuddly toys and very cheap T-shirts from China, or we're buying oil from Saudi. And either way, they're running surpluses, and they use those surpluses to buy our bonds. And it's back to the idea of an enabler. We co-enable each other. But at a certain point, that stops. And at a certain point, as Saudi grows economically, as Abdul Latif was telling us about, it's going to need that money for itself. They're going to be building half a dozen enormous cities in the desert, ecological cities and so on. And if their plans succeed, it'll be fantastic. But there won't be so much money left to buy our bonds. And the more they don't buy our bonds, the more the interest rates on our bonds go up, the more of our taxes have to go to pay those interest rates, and then you're in a vicious cycle.
Okay, so you partially answered already my second question, which I asked some economists before. Nobody could answer to me. That's how does America get away with a huge trade deficit? And so is it true that this is just compensated for by investments from countries like China, but also Germany, which has also a huge trade surplus? It was only taken over by China, I think, this or last year. Before that, Germany had a larger trade surplus than China. So did the crash basically help United States to get rid of their international debt?
I'm not sure that Germany buys a lot of US bonds. I'm looking for help here. I don't think so.
We bought junk bonds in the interest houses.
Yeah, that's right. I think the current US deficit is $1.75 trillion. Would anybody, you can have a little bit of fun by writing down $1.75 trillion. Shall I dictate it out to you? Write down a 1, then a 7. Go on, do it. Write it down, it's fun. Write a 1, then a 7, then a 5, then a 0, 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 and then a 0. You've just written down 1.75 trillion. And it's just utterly unimaginable numbers. And it's supposed to be the same next year and drop dramatically the year after. I don't think so. I don't think so.
So thank you.